Sky Blue Rob says, I could do a film channel. I have a good personality. She's got a great personality, which is, yeah, that's always what you want to hear. And I mean that lovingly. I don't mean that rudely. I do want to know that I have a good personality. I'm a good person. I think I'm a good person. No, I do. I like talking about movies. Abso-flippin-lutely. I could tell you about movies all day long. I am looking so forward to the Oscars this year. They have, at least in St. Louis, you'd have to think that they have it in LA. I mean, come the heck on. But when I lived in St. Louis, they have a Oscars showcase in which you can view the Best Picture nominated movies all in a day at the movie theater. Or, because the categories have changed to up to 10 movies, you can't always fit 10 in a day, so you, it breaks it up over 2 Saturdays before the actual Oscars, and I go every year, and I don't live in St. Louis anymore. I live in California, and so I'm going to have to find the theater near me that does this, because, it's my passion. Will this stream be on YouTube? Perchance to
yes.
stream?
Yes.
Aww, Trevor, how Shakespearean.
It's not going to well, it'll be unlisted. I'm going to spend the next week breaking the stream up into probably hour-long chunks. So it's not going to be just one 25-hour video. I'm going to break it up into smaller chunks. So look for that to be available in a week or so, because I'm not going to work on it today.
Andrew Chalmers joined us and he said, "Woo, Skies of Arcadia." But the surgery should be your first one.
The first thing I post. Yeah, okay. I'll find that and make video on that.
Did Kelly say 10 films on the trot, i.e. to watch 10 films on the trot?
Nah.
I don't know what trot is.
What in the hell is
Trevor looks
that
forward
thing?
to it. The ballots. The Oscars, which is the Academy Awards, has a new voting regulations that instead of like years ago, as in I think it's been about 8 years now, in which it used to only be 5 films, and yes, one after another. Yes, Sky Blue, babe, one after another. However, they only go up to 6 in a day. So, if the Academy says that there are only 5 or 6 movies that are nominated for Best Picture, you will see all of those movies in one day at the theater. If it's anything over that, they split it up over 2 days. And it's the best weekend or 2 weekends. I love it. It's amazing. It's, yeah. The only other time I ever did that is I did the Lord of the Rings marathon when the 3rd one came out. I went to the movies to watch the first 2 before the 3rd one came out, and it was a very emotional day. I'm not a crier. I'm really not. I have feelings. I have a lot of feelings. I'm full of the feels. Got the feels right here, but like movies, I get that they're movies, especially because I'm so close to them, because it's a field that I am want to pursue. But like, oh man, Lord of the Rings, I start crying. The minute Elijah Wood opens his eyes, I'm just like, number one, I love you. Will you please marry me? And then I cry because he's there on the screen and not marrying me. It's very sad. If you know my brother, and Elijah Wood is like, oh, so he's my boyfriend. Have I been to one? I've been to several. Snapchat my final hour.
Buy something, anything, please.
Golly Gumfries. What'd you say, brother?
She says, "What? We don't have a lot, but please buy something, anything, please."
I know, right? Sky Blue says, it's great that you have passion for films. I do. What are your thoughts on modern day filmmaking where they go for the kind of handheld filming method? I am not a fan of Paul Greengrass, if that answers your question.
Shaky cam needs to die. Not that it isn't. Not that it doesn't have a place. Not that it isn't a tool that belongs in a toolbox, and when used appropriately, can be very effective.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, it's still treated like the new hotness, which I don't understand because I don't know anyone who genuinely likes it. I have never heard anyone say, "Yes, yes." When you take an awesome action scene and then you shake the camera so you can't tell what's going on. Love that. That really improves it for me. I've never heard anyone say that, so.
Yeah, so everything that he just said, I agree with. I feel as if I don't need to feel that I am in the action like on a magic motion ride. I don't need to feel that way to enjoy and experience that which is happening on the screen in front of me. And the reason I brought up Paul Greengrass is because when he took over the Bourne franchise, some of these fights, I thought to myself, those fights are probably amazingly well choreographed and intricate and like super exciting. But with all of the cuts and all of the shaky, I'm like, wait, how did he get that? And why is he using this? And it's just too hard to follow for me. Trevor says Return of the King can be very moving. At the end, when hobbits are back in the bar after Journey is over, and they're just taking a moment of silence to be glad that they were even alive. I felt it. Oh my god. Sky Blue says I first saw it, being the shaky cam, on 24 series, which was excellent and worked, but that was ages ago. But yes, I wish it would die in movies. Never saw 24 either.
You guys look like sailors. Stupid ones at that. I think he just flicked a bogey. Well, aren't we a little obnoxious? Marco. Wait a minute. The blacksmith's ward, or whoever he is named Marco in Rune Factory. Kind of looks like him, too.
You have to watch 24, best American TV series ever, in my view, says Skyview.
Okay, I probably never will. Because it's too long. Because it's like 6, 7, 8 seasons, I don't know. 24 episodes apiece, I'm just not going to take the time to watch it.
Trevor says shaky cam, Bourne movie action is so disorienting. Yeah.
Yeah, here are my thoughts on modern cinematography. If I can't tell what happened, you have failed.
Yeah.
If I even question what happened, if I can only figure out what happened because
it's what had to
that's
have,
what had
like,
to have happened,
yeah,
then you have failed.
Yeah.
Cinematography should clearly communicate what the hell I'm looking at and what people are doing.
Yeah.
So says Andrew.
So I'm currently watching a show on HBO, question mark? Showtime, question? HBO? I don't know. It's,
Is it Westworld?
It's Westworld. I'm currently watching Westworld.
I think that's HBO.
And here's what I will say about this, because Brother was just talking about the question thing, is I'm really enjoying it. I do like it. It brings up a whole flutter of questions. However, it's a series, so hopefully those questions will be answered, because until they're answered, I'm making up my own stuff. But I know that which I am making up. So if it's not answered and I had to answer that question for myself, I'm going to be very upset. Did either of you see Batman vs. Superman? If so, what did you think? I did not see it. However, before I say anything and before brother says anything, I think that Ben Affleck was a fine choice. I'm not a huge Ben Affleck fan. It's not like I'm like, Ben Affleck. I'm really not. I never was. But I was never uppity. I thought to myself, that's a good choice. I get behind that. I did not see it because I hated the Superman, the Man of Steel movie, which my brother made a video about. Why I shouldn't hate it.
No. I made a video about an odd reaction, in my view, an odd reaction to a certain portion of the movie.
But it made me angry because I'm that person who has that reaction.
No.
Protoman Dan hears that Westworld is super good, but wants to wait until the series ends before he starts watching.
Yeah, anyways, I'm kind of like that too. Oh no, I haven't seen Batman v Superman because it looks terrible.
Well, there's that.
I actually, it was playing as an in-flight movie, but I played 3DS instead because I wasn't interested in watching it.
There you go.
Yeah, we could use a boost. 80 gold a night. How do you sleep at night?
On a well.
On a bed of your gold coins, sucker.
Oh, Sky Blue. Who wants to know what I didn't like about Man of Steel? The blatant disregard for life.
God, it's been so long since I've seen the movie now. I'd have a hard time, and also I'm really tired to really put together what the problems of the film are. But basically, it's just not a very good movie.
Yeah.
The motivation, the characters and motivations are completely unclear.
Yeah.
And almost no one in the movie is actually likable. Least of all, Clark/Superman.
Trevor says, Batman vs. Superman movie. I wanted to like it more. The pacing in the first half was not that good. I like that they've tried to put in the content from the DC comics, but it was almost too much. That movie really was catch up to Marvel the movie. The fight with Batman and Superman and the villain at the end in Wonder Woman is great, though. Sky Blue says, in his view, it was one of the worst films he's ever seen. He loves Batman, he loves Superman, but the film was a travesty.
I know.
I enjoy the word travesty.
That's so sad when you have a Batman and Superman in the same movie and it's terrible. It's like, how do you do that? It's like making a Transformers movie and having it suck. You've done that 4 times. Yeah, working on a 5th.
Well done. Well, the thing about me is if you, I am not a fan of the, what is it, Wonder Woman, whatever Gal Gadot is.
Oh, Gal Gadot.
Number one, I don't see a need for her. And I don't mean that like about her as in a piece of carbon. I mean like in the movie because it reminds me of adding Alicia Silverstone into
Batman and Robin.
I mean, it was already going to be a bad movie, but why make it worse type of a thing. I didn't hate it, but it was just very meh. Blatant product placement was hilarious as Protoman.
Oh, in Man of Steel? Oh, God. You know, I don't... Here are my thoughts on product placement. Coke exists. Cheetos are things that exists. 7-Eleven is a franchise that exists. It's okay if I see it in the movie. It's okay if a character opens a fridge and I see a can of Coke. It's okay if a character's walking down the street and I can see a 7-Eleven in the background. That stuff is okay. However, when every single item is in the fridge is Coke and all the labels are, pointed towards the camera, that's distracting. When to give the Man of Steel, there's a point where Superman's standing in like the parking lot of a Sears for some reason, and they completely changed the camera angle to frame Sears over his like right shoulder or something. It is so distracting. I mean, to the point where they reframed the shot. If Sears wasn't there, they would not have framed the shot like that. That's the kind of thing that bothers me with product placement.
For me, the product placement is when they actually mention it. And I find that less in movies and more in television shows, they mention what they're up to. Like, they'll get in a car and Bones, which
Let's
I enjoy.
go to Taco Bell and have the 99-cent burritos.
Bones, which I love very much, is sponsored by
Oh,
I don't know if it's Ford
I
or
immediately
Subaru or
thought Star Trek.
doesn't matter. Sure. But, like, they get in the car, and they're like, wow, this is a nice ride. And they talk about the features of the car, and they try to fit it into a... But really, it's they're being like, this is an amazing car. You're watching...
James Bond is kind of guilty
that's
of that.
the product placement that I don't like, is when...
You know, a lot of people had a problem with the
Wow.
product placement in...
Josie and the Pussycats.
I haven't seen it. The new Ghostbusters movie. Because Papa John's had a endorsement deal with Sony or whoever, so when the Ghostbusters are eating pizza, they're having Papa John's, which didn't bother me because they don't call attention to that fact. They're like, let's get some Papa John's.
Oh, sorry.
They're just eating pizza, and if you look at the box, it's Papa John's.
Yeah.
But Papa John's is a thing that exists, and that is less distracting to me than
If
some
they made
obviously generic pizza name, like
sure.
Pizza.
Oh, certainly.
The Pizza Shop, or something like that.
Trevor says the funny thing is Ant-Man and Charlie Brown are more effective heroes in their recent movies than Superman and Man of Steel. Good grief.
Oh,
I can't believe that happened. That's funny, Trevor. Sky Blue says Batman versus Superman was such a waste. It was joyless and nonsensical. Lex Luthor was appalling too long. I wanted to love it, at least like it. Just awful. You should watch it though, just to see how bad it really is.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I need to see just to see it. But the reason I was planning to see it in the beginning, but after all of the advertising for the movie made the film look like a complete and utter joyless slog. And I didn't want to see that. And reading the reviews, apparently that's exactly what the film is just a joyless slog, and that's not what I want to see. So
yeah.
I also hear that it's genuinely a bad movie. I mean, dark, gritty, joyless. Yeah, I mean, hey, there's a time and place for that, and I can even enjoy films like that too. But from what I hear, and this is the first movie I can think of in a while where critics just gave no cares at all and just spoiled the entire movie. Most of the reviews are just like, screw it, the movie sucks. We're going to talk about exactly why in explicit detail. So I feel like I've seen the movie. And unless every critic on Earth is lying about how the movie works, it's a terrible movie. I mean, it's just not a good film. The plot doesn't make any sense. The characters are unlikable and nonsensical and unmotivated and terrible people. So,
Who was I talking to?
Anyway.
So I was talking to...
Hopefully the Wonder Woman movie will be good.
Yeah. I was talking to our niece the other day, and
Who?
Joey.
Oh, okay.
And she...
Is it Marco?
She was mentioning Identity Thief, and it's a movie with Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
And so she said, we were going through the channel guide, and a joyless slog. Sky Blue says you sum it up very well, and he hasn't even seen it.
I just based that on the marketing.
Yeah. So
at least the marketing was truthful.
Well, but I'm so the Identity Thief thing. So Joey's like, "Oh, I love that movie," and she's like, "Have you seen it yet?" And I was like, "I saw the first 20 minutes of it, and I shut it off." She's like, "What?" And I said, "I disliked it so much because I didn't like the characters." And of course, she's only 11. She doesn't understand what that really means. Why don't because she just goes from joke to joke, and it's slapstick. And to me, I'm with you. If I don't like the characters, I don't care what jokes are in there, what funny is in there, what drama is in there. If I don't really care what and I hated Melissa McCarthy's character and Jason Bateman's character. They were awful people, and I was like, I can't watch either of you. It was awful. You'd hate it too, Andrew.
Yeah.
To be fair, it did have its moments, but you couldn't ignore the ketchup. I wanted Gina Carano to be Wonder Woman so bad. When you see her in Deadpool, she actually looks like Wonder Woman from head to toe.
I would say performance is more important than physicality, and I'm not sure Gina Carino, whatever her name is, really has the performance chops for it. Maybe she does. I don't know.
I love this still.
She rarely ever does much in a film other than is a presence. And I didn't. She was in a film. She had a lead in a film. I think it was called Haywire or something like that. I didn't see it though. But yeah, Gal Gadot, her performance may be fine, but just from a physical presence, she's not what I picture when I picture Wonder Woman. No. When I picture Wonder Woman, I picture a literal Amazon. You know, but you know, if she has the character and performance down pat, then you know, I'm cool with it.
I picture Beyonce. Someone who, like, by looking at her, you're like, yep, you're.
Well, she's a big girl, and she actually has a frame that could pack on some muscle. She could get some, you know, broad shoulders and big arms.
Wow, but by the waifs that are on screen these days, you don't actually need a big person. You just need someone who is not a size 0. A size 2 would do you. Sky Blue says his mom has a 20-minute rule with films. She turns it off when she doesn't like it for 20 minutes, although she's not much of a film person. I don't. I try to give everything its due. It is actually, this identity thief thing is very rare for me. If I go to the theater, I've only ever walked out of 2 movies in my life. One was extraordinarily boring. I thought I was going to kill myself. And the other was incredibly insulting and in bad taste.
Was it Babe?
No.
Big movie?
Although I didn't finish Babe. So I never went to the theater to see Babe. But so most of the time, I will say 90% of the time I will give every movie its due because I want to see what they're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who put time
it's
and
like,
energy
you know, it's
into
only
making
2 hours.
something, I have to believe
hours.
that they had something to say. I'm also an optimist.
Yeah.
I have been wrong many times. Babe I've shut off. The Identity Thief I've shut off. Maybe there's been a handful of others that I've actually sat down to watch rather than, you know.
I've long been a person who, for movies at least, it's 2 hours. I can spare 2 hours. I'll watch the whole thing. But I find as I get older, I have less and less patience. You know, if I'm not enjoying it, you know, life's too short. I got other things to do.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for you to get good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to give every anime I saw 5 episodes.
Oh, golly, Gumfries.
Sometimes I'll watch 1 episode and I'll go, nope, not worth my time. But I think that comes with age, and after you've just seen enough of it, you're like, okay, I know exactly what this is. I mean, maybe they'll turn it around in episode 12, but I'm not willing to wait that long.
So I think the value of films has been cheapened by the advent of things like Netflix. Films used to be an event when I was a lad.
In some sense, I think they've just changed.
Yes.
Rather than, I mean, you certainly don't have the roadshow experience that you used to with films. And I mean, you certainly don't have like the what they did in like the 40s and 50s with what's his name?
The show in front of the.
Yeah, I mean, movie
up.
Theaters used to be, or movies used to be in like theater palaces, these big ornate things with a stage in front of the screen, and there used to be a show, and then you, what's the guy who did the Tingler? I keep thinking Frank Castle, and it's not Frank Castle, that's the Punisher, but William Castle, I think. You know, he was the guy who did the skeletons floating through the audience, and the electric buzzers, and the chairs, and...
Well, didn't Hitchcock want to do something akin to that as well at some point?
Well, I think the closest he had was something like this... You know, there are paramedics standing by in the theater, or something. Not anything totally. Something's going to goose you in the bum in the middle of the movie, kind of thing. But
yeah.
So I think that film experience. I mean, your opinion may vary on whether it's greater or lesser, but film has just altered and changed over the years. And occasionally you get revivals like the Roadshow version of Hateful Eight, which was presented on 70mm and an actual film projection.
Absolutely.
And that's with with a show booklet and an intermission and overture and all kinds of weird stuff. You know, it's great.
Yeah. I could talk about that question for quite some time. In fact, Sky Blue, it's something that I could go on and on about for a lot. But what I will say is that I still enjoy the theater. I enjoy midnight showings. I will still go to them. I enjoy seeing things and being immersed in the opening weekend of a movie due to the fact that everyone is there for the same reason.
I just don't enjoy other people.
Well, he's
everyone else there.
Yeah. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Netflix is producing movies. It's still a movie. They are producing it.
And some really
and they
quality
are
stuff, too.
It's still a creation. It's just on a different platform. Trevor says, I wish but I could go on and on, but I won't. Oh, Trevor says that Ben Affleck was the highlight of Batman vs. Superman. Yay, good for him. He wished he would have walked out of Transformers 2. It was exhausting. Even a guy sitting 2 seats away from me was sighing during the explosions of the desert. There were so many bad things about that movie.
Transformers 2 is amazing because it's like you've got all these giant robots shooting at each other and things blowing up all the time, and the movie is genuinely boring. And I'm watching giant robots punch each other and things explode. I'm like, how on earth did they manage to make that literally boring? It took me a year to get through that entire DVD. It was so boring.
Sky Blue talks about how you get, how you pick what you go to see because there's so many things on Netflix that you end up watching a lot of crap. I research.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, websites and stuff that tell you, like, here's the 100 films on Netflix right now that are important. And the thing about being someone who is a movie buff and, like, someone who really enjoys movies, I kind of also know what I'm looking for. Granted, a lot of times I forget.
Whoops, the other way.
But there are directors that I like, so if there's a director I like, or even a director that I don't like Lars von Trier, I'll watch his stuff because I'm just so interested in how his mind works. And I watch it and I'm like, I just don't get it. But yet I'll watch his stuff because I want to see it. So, like, I'm actually picky because there is so much to see. Proto Man Dan said, I haven't walked out of a film before, but it was extremely close of walking out of Sausage Party. I could see that.
Did you see Sausage Party?
I did. No. I'm not into anthropomorphizing food.
Okay, sure.
I'll end it there.
Fair enough. I thought it was okay. There were some parts that were amusing, but I did one of my live review parties for that movie.
Yeah, I saw that you did. I didn't watch it. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, I saw that you did. I didn't see it. You did a live review for a few things. I watched your Ghostbusters once. I saw that in the theater.
Ghostbusters? Yeah.
Well, it was great because when I lived at Mike Kramer's for those couple months, the theaters right up the street, two of them, I went to the theater once or twice a week for the last 3 months, and the fact that I haven't been now for 3 weeks, I am freaking out. I must go to the movies. Maybe I'll do that this week. And I go alone, guys. I am totes good going alone.
Yeah.
This is like me time.
Well, because I go to watch the movie.
This is me time. I'll go on a date or I'll go with friends, and I love that too. But
they better shut the hell up and watch the movie.
Like, I don't need people for a movie. That's not necessary.
Yeah, agreed.
I sound like a proper movie connoisseur. Oh dear, do I sound pretentious? I don't mean to. I'm a bog standard casual watcher. I like Superman 4 and Halloween 5. We like you.
No shame in liking what you like.
No, there's no shame in liking what you like.
We like Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Oh my gosh, Kung Pao. That's a lot of nuts!
That's a lot of nuts!
Swinging chains. sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that is such a good
Product
movie.
placement at Taco Bell.
I love that man. I liked the Thumb movies.
Yes,
the
Steve
Blair
Notified.
Thumb is deer. That wasn't a deer. Deer don't have dorsal fins. Wasn't that the Blair Thumb?
Blair Thumb, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Sky Blue. I've always found going to a film on a date a bit odd, unless she's dead boring, as you basically say hello and then you sit in silence for 2 hours. And the date is dependent on the fact if the movie is good or not.
Yes.
Like, yeah, no, so that's why, for me, it's a...
Yeah, movies are... I'm probably the last person on Earth to ever...
Go on a date?
Well, sure, but to actually evaluate proper dating technique or advice or whatever, but going to the movies is really not I don't think is a great first date. I mean,
No.
it's a great thing to do for couples who are couples. But
Sure.
first
Sure.
dates are get to know the other person kind of dates, and you can't do that at a movie unless you're a terrible moviegoer.
Right, right?
So, tell me about yourself. Shh, you know.
Popcorn is not dinner. Well, that's not true. Popcorn is a food group, and so thusly, Protoman Dan says Trier's films are hit or miss. Antichrist was great, but I hated Nymphomaniac. There you go.
Both parts of it.
It is a lot. I appreciated Nymphomaniac. I
Oh, is that gonna kill me?
don't know the answer to that.
Oh, thank goodness.
Superman for the Quest of Peace, pretty entertaining. I hear when you watch it late at night. Nothing pretentious about you, Kelly. I love you, Trevor. Thank you. I'm not pretentious. I'm just very opinionated, but in an optimistic, cute way. Plus, if there's an action-packed hero in it, it can make you feel a bit inadequate on a date.
Okay.
As in why it's not good. But
I would think like a full-on porno movie would have a bigger problem than that, than an action movie. But
no, because women, if you look at their faces, they're not actually having a good time in porn.
The people in the movie or the people watching the movie?
Oh, well, I don't watch it for titillation. I watch it for
The story?
because it's a comedy to me. I find it hilarious. The acting is bad. The lighting is bad. The overdubs are hilarious. I haven't watched porn for a very long time.
I just like
since
the
college,
titles.
But I love yeah.
I'm on some newsletter that sends me news from the industry. It's if you follow me on the site Random Tower, I wrote a story about the XXX parody movie of Pokemon Go. How I found out about that is I'm on a mailing list for adult movies, which I'm not even totally sure how I got on that, but I learn about some of the funniest sounding movies ever, like the Pokemon Go parody. And the titles, unless they're people who have sex number 137, they're usually very punny titles, which I have a soft spot for, so.
Right.
Love me some puns. This is an insta-kill magic, isn't it? Oh no, not that one, okay. I should probably heal Vice here, though. Yeah, you silly tiger stripe jelly.
If anyone wants to know what I'm doing, I'm Snapchatting. I tried to explain it to my brother. It's hard. I'm letting them know how our stream is going.
Yar! Yar, 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 yar. Yar. How did you learn that? I don't have you on blue, do I? Sewer level! Blue. Oh. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Oh, bless you. loves this film buff talk. Me too!
Oh, what is that thing with the... what? Mind Stealer. It's like a dude with a beetle on his head. That's amazing. You've got a super move, don't you? Yep, that'll work. Yeah, that'll do, Ika. That'll do. That's a great design. I love this
I
one.
like it. I like it a lot, actually. Aw. Andrew, have you played any of the Rhythm Heaven games?
Oh yeah, I love the Rhythm Heaven games. I don't really have much to add. They are great. I actually did a video a couple of years ago on Rhythm Heaven Fever for the Wii. I have fairly decent rhythm being a musician, so sometimes I in a way I've kind of a leg up. But okay, left or right?
Left.
I guess this way.
Okay.
So there's a mini game in there called Monkey Watch, which tasks you with offbeat and syncopated clapping or tapping the button. And I was reading online that a lot of people were just having fits with that particular level. So I made a video called Spanking the Monkey Watch. Because Monkey Watch was the name of the mini game, so haha, Spanking the Monkey Watch. Kind of doing a suggestion on how to easily keep the beat in that one.
Oh, I saw that one. It was amazing to watch you do it because you just kind of, you didn't even look at the game, you just kept the beat.
Yeah, and a lot of people wrote me after that video and say, "Oh man, that was really, really helpful. That's amazing. Thank you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, great."
Well, when I was doing opera, that's what I did backstage because you couldn't... Doing all of the stuff that you have to do backstage, you can't be at your score. So that's why I danced all the time. It's something that everyone laughed at me for until I was... until they realized that I was in the right. They're like, that's why Kelly dances, because like, you have to walk away from your score and go do something, and then when you come back, you're like, I did 15 hops, so I'm... You know, I can find my place in the music because it's not in English. You can't go by, you have to actually go by reading music, which I can do. Duo Grandia wants to say...
Who taught you to read music?
Who taught me to read music?
Mm-hmm.
Brother, I've always read music because I sang.
I know.
Were you trying to say I taught you how to read music?
That's right.
Yes, that's true, you did. You did. Because orchestration is much different to read than just like, here's what I'm singing.
Yeah, it was the orchestrated sheet music.
Yeah, you did. We're not switching games due to the fact that there's only 13 minutes left.
Yeah.
I
mean, we could.
I think John Cryer from 2.5 Men is in it. Rhythm Heaven. What? I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking to each other. Rhythm Heaven is one of those rare game series where you can play the game completely blindfolded. Says Proto Man.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of... It's difficult. There are a lot of visual cues, but I'm... Off the top of my head, I can't think of any that rely on visual cues. They all have very obvious sound cues. So, yeah, it is a game you could play blind.
Monkey Watch was tough, says Trevor. John Cryer in Superman 4. Oh.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
See, to me, John Cryer will always be Ducky.
Oh, here we go again. That's right, guys. Stand in a group so I can hit you with Alpha Storm every time. I'm happy with that.
And are those like little baby elephants?
Kind of look like that a bit.
Where are you going?
No, we're
Oh,
just
water.
grabbing water. Guard.
Mind Stealer.
There's a giant cockroach in my back. It steals my mind.
Nice. We did it! Yeah, she's so positive. I love her energy.
Yeah, the characters in this game, pretty much all of them are great. I mean, not just your main cast, but even all the commander people, bad guy, the Legion of Evil people. They're a lot of fun too.
The Evil League of Evil.
Yeah.
Evil League of Evil is watching, so beware.
Assassin's Blade. Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Ducky, I still see Pretty in Pink. I finally saw 16 Candles earlier this year. There are so many 80s movies I have to catch up on. Oh my, Trevor. I don't know how old you are. Were you said you were an 80s baby? But like,
that's nice.
There's 80s is where it was at, yo. So good.
Okay.
Less than 10 minutes.
Can you get heavy armor? No. Can you get heavy armor? Probably. But you don't need it as much.
I have to look up the year of something. Hold please.
What are you looking up the year of?
Oh, it was 1990.
What?
Pump Up the Volume.
Okay.
Pump Up the Volume is one of my favorite movies.
Well, that looks unsafe.
Yes, it does. It holds a very special place in my heart. I'm sure that, you know, looking back on it now, it's not the greatest movie, but I still love it. And Christian Slater is my other husband.
I remember you watched that a bunch.
Oh, I have every Christian Slater's movies, but I had them all on VHS. Christian Slater is my other Elijah. Actually, no one can be Elijah.
He's the other Elijah.
Let's not be confused. No one can be Elijah, but like Christian Slater and Elijah, sometimes they duke it out from time to time over who they vie for my affections. And I love them. You guys should be proud. You're almost done. Yes, Sky Blue, we are very proud.
Yep.
So you see the excitement in the bags under my eyes.
So excited. Yeah. Probably would have went to see Doctor Strange this weekend if it weren't for the stream, but that's alright. I'll see you next weekend.
I never saw Suicide Squad. Did you see that?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't either. I wanted to.
It was there was one, the marketing looked muddled. I'm like, wow, that could go either way. And then I read the reviews and like, it looks like it went that way. So, it's another movie that's like, I'll have to see it sometime.
Trevor was a kid in the 80s, so everything was R and the practical effects, everything looks real. That's what's awesome.
Yes.
Did you say you had to drive home, Kelly? Be careful, don't nod up at the wheel. Yes, I will. I'll drive home. I'm doing it tomorrow morning. I don't think it would be smart to do it today. It's about 3 hours. It's 3 hours and it's not smart. So I'm gonna get up tomorrow and leave at 7:30. You know. But thank you. I'll be safe.
Oh, hello. Don't mind me. I'll just walk right around you.
The game won't let you do that, you silly widget.
Well, I guess we'll either die or beat this boss. This seems like a good ending point.
Brilliant.
Yeah. How are we doing? You probably want to top up. And you're good.
Let's try this.
Why do you have
There
little
are
things?
skeleton
Yeah.
heads in his
That doesn't look frosty.
stomach.
Frost, huh?
A 25-hour session is really liable to mess up your sleep cycle, says Unicorn.
Yeah.
Trevor says Suicide Squad is good, it's worth it. Harley was perfect. Alfre Woodard as Amanda Waller was perfect, and so was Katana. Really good movie, I thought. I didn't think it was Alfre Woodard. I thought it was Viola Davis.
I don't know.
I love Alfre Woodard, I do,
No,
but
both of them, so.
I did think it was Viola Davis.
Why is this thing just sitting in the sewer? What is it doing down here? Oh, belly bump. Oh, wait a minute. So they're having a slap fight. Oh dear. Oh! Oh! Oh!
Are you drowning in, like, puke? Is that what that was?
That was not right.
Heard the opposite about Suicide Squad, to be honest. Haven't seen it, but people say
I
it tries
heard
hard to
both
be
of
funny
them.
and the performances are pretty bad. But I haven't seen it, so I can't judge. That's Proto Man Dan. Yeah.
Give me strength.
I think we might go over time a little bit. I don't think I'm going to get this guy down in 3 minutes, but that's alright.
Okay. Oh yeah, Viola was Waller. Sorry, I thought Suicide Squad was funny. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Alfre Woodard is in 12 Years a Slave. Isn't Alfre Woodard also the one in Heart and Soul with Robert Downey Jr.?
I don't remember.
Isn't that her?
Let's try this.
Charles Grodin's in it.
Charles Grodin is in it. Robert Downey Jr. does an amazing job in that movie. I think it's, I don't know. I think it was Alfre.
You've got a phone.
I got a phone. Alfre was
IMDb
in
that stuff.
12 Years a Slave, but I think she was also in Heart and Soul. Alfre Woodard. Movies.
Oh, Rainbow
12
Bile.
Years a Slave. And Heart and Souls for the win.
Shibuya.
Which was 1993. Good movie. 3 minutes ago, but unfortunately I had to go. Well done, Kelly and Andrew. You are the best. Sleep tight, Andrew. Thank you, moi, Nintendo.
Thank you much. That is so disgusting.
Yeah, that's really
I
gross.
loved that. That's great.
That's
Oh, poor Ica. Tank it. Oh, come on, Drachma. We could have had it. That's on you, buddy.
Yeah,
that's on you.
Golly, Gumfries, come on, guys. They're all saying, go, Andrew, go.
Let's try this.
Yes, let's try it.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the stream. Okay, let me stop that thing from flashing, because that's going to be really annoying. There we go. Okay, so let's, yeah, whatever. That was on Drachma. We could have just eked
Yeah,
in
we
a win
could've
under the
done
minute
it.
if Drachma hadn't whiffed.
What a
Well, he's old.
cutlass fury!
And that should be the finishing blow. Yeah. Bye-bye. And that's it.
Alright, well done, Andrew and Kelly, you did it. Thank you, everyone.
And that is it. So concludes
Yes.
2016's Extra Life charity stream.
Oh my god!
We raised $775
Oh my
for
god.
Rady Children's Hospital. Give me that list. Let me give out one
Oh.
last round of thank
Yeah,
yous.
absolutely.
So, thank you, James Jakeman. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Mom and Tim. Thank you, Gloria Nunley. Thank you, Hanny Gohari. Thank you, Cheryl Still. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Joe Olson. Thank you, Diane Williamson. Thank you, Gary Mikowski. Thank you, Jim Carr. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Rob Lord. Thank you, Danny Rules. Thank you, Yamcha111. Thank you, Shadow132. Thank you, Andrew Koski. Thank you, Michael Koretsky. And do check out the Kunkel Awards, which recognize excellence in video game journalism at spj.org/kunkel.asp. Thank you, Barry Eisen. And if you need a motorcycle or auto or freight or anything like that shipped around somewhere, check out moverquest.com. Thank you, Marino Mangold. If you need some video game news, reviews, or gameplay, check out his YouTube channel, Nunchified Entertainment. Thank you, Trevor Teagues. If you want some PS4 games and sometimes PC games streamed, check out his Twitch channel at twitch.tv/madtowngames. And thank you, Andrew Chalmers, who's in development on a new game, a 2D game for mobile called Anahara. So thank you, everyone. It was a blast. We were very tired. We're gonna have some lunch. Jazz hands. We're gonna have some lunch and then take a nice dessert nap and then probably go for a walk or something.
Oh, good, I need to catch Pokemon.
So, alright. So, sincerely, everyone, thank you very much. See you around.